You can drink Sunny Delight and Bacardi.
Ooh.
Celebrate our baby. Oh, look how pretty, Dad. It does look really pretty. Can you see?
Yeah, looks good.
You can still see that, though. I think this will have to be. So remember how we had talked about moving that? You don't have to do it right now. It's okay. It's impromptu. Oh, and just one more thing. Tomorrow. Hi, I'm Brandy. This is Honda Kalu, and it's late. Sorry. But I just wanted to get on and check in with you guys because I said that I would, but just one second. When you take the vanity away, please don't dump all my shit just like it's garbage. Can you please carefully just stack it up? Especially the herbs. Actually, matter of fact, let's move the herbs on top of the bed because I harvested those. Those are the ones that I grew in our property.
Don't worry about that.
Okay. I am doing my thing. Hi. If anybody's on here, hey, can you log on so I have a couple more friends on? So, hi. I worked today, and it's my baby's birthday, my only child's birthday. So we are just getting back from celebrating my beautiful boy. And it's obviously you can tell my cat likes to lay on it because it's covered in fur, but I made this. And I take it with me camping and stuff to carry my decks. What's in the dryer right now, brother? This needs to be cleaned. So basically, this live is pretty impromptu, but the whole point is that we would be chatting about how the Wolf Moon Challenge is going for you. How it's going for me is that I was really very, very active the first week and a half, and then I got pretty badly derailed by Christmas and by our dog passing away and by my son's birthday. So it's been I'm struggling to catch up. It is a full moon today. Hopefully, we will have time to do something that I call Level 10 Life. And of course, I'm going to share on my webpage the bullet journaling stuff. I tried to share it here on YouTube before, but it didn't really take off. If you do want to see that, let me know. I don't think that this live is so far out of my normal range of time when I go live. I don't think that this is going to be very well viewed, and that's totally fine because when it comes down to it, what keeps me going on this channel is my desire to connect with you. And I think that if you desire to connect with me too, that's wonderful and we can be halfway. But I'm not going to stop if nobody desires to connect with me because you still got to put that call out into the universe. So Level 10 Life is basically, our family makes it grid style. It's basically a self-inventory. So there's 10 categories: family and friends, personal development, spirituality, finances, career, romance, fun and recreation, giving and charity, physical environment, and health and fitness. And basically, I think it came out really pretty. I'm really glad. My husband helped me set all this up. This is a painting from my friend Sarah Pritchett Werner. She made this for me. It says, "A good deed brightens a dark world," and it's one of my favorite quotes. All of these lights I've been collecting for years, and I finally got them put up. This is my, I was going to say stack collector, and I'm going to leave it at that because that's basically what it ends up being. This is a shelf with like pretty crystals on it, but I'm missing a few. And then behind me here, my bookshelf, a little one. I need a bigger one. I have a big one, but I have shelves everywhere. Back to Level 10 Life. So basically, you take a good, honest look at yourself in those categories. So I would say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how am I doing in the family and friend department? Am I feeling connected? Am I feeling disconnected? Do I feel like I have a good support system? Like, how is that going? And then I give myself a grade. And some people make goals for each segment of their life. And for me, I say if I'm okay with that segment of my life, then I leave it at that. And I try to focus my energy on setting goals for places where I'm not doing so well. So in the past, the family and friend goal that I have done is like I will have a keep in touch tracker. And I actually think I'm going to do that in 2021 because I was way better at reaching out to my mom, my sisters, my cousins, my close friends from the military and from when we lived in Washington and stuff. I was way better at connecting regularly when I had a tracker because it would be like, okay, in August, did I contact all of these people that mean something to me at least once, at least a text, at least a Facebook message, something to reach out to them on a personal level. Sorry, delicious. Personal development is so personal because what does that mean for you? Like, what are your goals developing yourself as a person? And I don't count that as career development because career has its own segment, which you would consider the things. Oh, I love books. Um, you would consider the things that you wanted to do to make yourself a better person, and you would reflect on: Am I a better person? Am I a good person? What could I do to be better? What could I do to be more? How I want to present or grow in the world. How I want to show up. So that's basically one of our tasks tonight. Hi, Kitty Pup. This is my living dog, Duke. I don't know. I guess I can tilt it to see if you can see Duke. Duke-a-doo-doo. Say hi, Poopy. You're so cute. That's Bubbles' son. And it's kind of nice, but he looks so much like Bobo. And so sometimes I have to second guess myself as to who it is that's with me. And that's a bittersweet because it's kind of nice because he's with me, but it's kind of sad because Bo's not. Although oh man, his ashes are ready, so we're gonna pick him up, and he'll be home again. So that's gonna be good. There will be an update on my page as far as Wolf Moon Challenge Week 3. I had intended to get it done tonight. It's not gonna be done tonight. Sorry. It is what it is. Tonight is the full moon in Cancer. It's a really good time, last full moon of the year, so it's really good time for release. It's really good time for cord cutting, banishing, letting go, all of the things that no longer serve you, that don't have a place in your life anymore, making space, literally, physically, metaphorically, however it is that you're going to make space for. Thank you, Freedom Girl, for what it is that you want in your life, right? So the Wolf Moon Challenge has been all about making those big plans and kind of goal setting and intention setting for the upcoming year. So in the sense that we have gone through the process of number one, we started with dreaming big dreams, imagining if nothing was going to get in our ways, what would we do? How would we live? Where would we go? What would we try? What skills would we learn? Where would we travel? All of that, just big, expansive dreams. And then we're transitioning now into honest reflection, right? We're looking at like, if these are all of my dreams, where am I right now? And it behooves us to be brutally honest, but it also behooves us to be gentle and kind to ourselves because there's certain people who look at the world and they think that things are better than they are, right? I think that we call them optimists or people who are a glass half full, but I think that it's way more rare for a person to look at themselves and be overly optimistic. I feel like a lot of us, especially a lot of women, but it's probably a lot of us, period, are very, very hard on ourselves. And we look at ourselves and we look at our accomplishments and we look at how our year went and we look at all of these things very negatively and very get down on ourselves. We degrade ourselves in our minds. We talk to ourselves in a way that we wouldn't speak to our child or our loved ones or our best friend. And that is not what I mean by brutally honest reflection. I'm saying lean into that. If it makes you uncomfortable to give yourselves kudos, which for me it does, still lean into that and be like, I am really good at helping people and communicating with others, and I really really care about others, and I love deeply, and I'm loyal to a fault, and I'm generous, and I'm devoted and creative. And those things are all skills that are going to help me get what I want in life. So the self inventory is really about, where am I now? What tools do I have? And then as we get into the waning moon, we're transitioning into that period of, okay, there should be, when you set a goal, there should be some gap between where you are now and what your goal is. Otherwise, what is the point of a goal? You're stretching your boundaries. You're moving out of your comfort zone. That's what the goal is about. So there should be some gap between where you are as a person now and what goals and dreams you have for the future, not just 2021. We're talking explicitly about 2021, or even this lunar cycle, which would be 6 months from now. But where you are now and where you're going to be. And the inventory is saying, like, I'm here. I have these skills. I'm going here. Number one, what obstacles and barriers do I anticipate? And number two, what am I holding on to that's not really helpful, that's dragging me down? And so that's where it's really nice to look at in the waning moon. What am I going to let go of? What negative thoughts? What negative people? What clutter? What unwanted things? What old tropes? What bad habits? All of these things that are hindering you from your evolution as a person. We need to release. We need to cut them cords. We need to let it go, whether it be stop thinking in a certain way about yourself, whether it be getting rid of things that are not making you happy or just taking up space in your home, whether it be cutting ties with people who drag you down and make you feel like shit. However that looks for you, that's the work in the last half of the Wolf Moon Challenge, is that we're going to look at ourselves. We already made big dreams. We're going to look at ourselves. We're going to say, this is where we're going. This is our dream. Now, what must I give up to get there? What must I release to get there? And I don't mean give up as in like you're going to give something up and, it's going to be a loss to you. What I'm talking about in this context is releasing what no longer serves you, which we talk about that a lot. And it sounds like it would be an easy thing to do, releasing what no longer serves us. But human beings like me and you and all of us, we are very prone to memories, nostalgia. We are very prone to remembering the love that we had for something and keeping that something around far longer than the love exists, right? And when it's people, that's even more challenging, because I hate to give up on people, but always remember that just because a person doesn't sit at your table anymore doesn't mean that you don't want them to eat. You just don't want them in your stratosphere. And that is a way that you protect yourself and you protect your energy. And eventually, I think that in the end, it's good for that person as well. Because, hey, just because you were really cool with this person in this one point in your life doesn't mean that that person's growing at the same pace as you. And so they may not be in the ready in the same way as you are for a new thing in your life, and sticking around in your old life for their sake is not fair to either of you, and it doesn't serve either of you well either. God, I hate this kind of box for tarot cards. I fucking hate it. Excuse my French. I think there's only like Freedom Girl and my husband in this live. So, Freedom Girl, have you done any of the Wolf Moon Challenge stuff yet? Or any reflection or any goal setting for New Year's? Or Daddy? I know my husband has a little bit, just because I will kind of, follow him around and badger him with questions. Like, what are you going to do? What are your goals? What are you thinking about? How would you like to grow? And I don't make him answer right there. I just, me too. Yes, me too, Freedom Girl. Not just better health, but better, how do I phrase this? So, as a nurse, as a wife, as a mother, as the person that I am, which is a person who's heavily involved in service and others, I feel like I am very, very good at loyalty and devotion to the ones that I love. But I'm not very good at loyalty and devotion to myself and to my body. And that is a disservice to my other loved ones, because I won't be around to give them my love and devotion forever if I don't do some love and devotion with my person. So I'm trying to get, I want to do that too, Freedom Girl. I'd love to go to the gym. I was going to the gym until my governor shut the state down. So as soon as the state opens, I will go back to the gym because it makes me feel great. I love going to the gym. Um, Eating better is another thing. I love keto or low carb. And so when we went to Costco today, I bought all my favorite keto stuff. Yeah, no gym. I have a home gym, my husband says, a home gym. It's a Bowflex in the back room. I don't even like Bowflex. And not just that, I feel like completely overwhelmed by changing all the pegs and shit. That's my husband's thing. He really likes that. I have a total gym that I used to use, but the problem is
total gym and an exercise bike and with free weights and all sorts of stuff.
He says we have a total gym, an exercise bike, and free weights and a step. And like, so he's calling me out. Thanks. So I was gonna say the total gym. I cannot keep this hair out of the way, and numerous occasions my hair has gotten snagged in the cables, which is awful. And then the exercise bike, believe it or not, hurts my butt. And the stepper, I like the stepper when I'm at the gym, but I don't use it when I'm at home. So at the gym, I go to their circuit training room. So it has like 10, hi mom. It has 10 workout machines and then steppers, and it's got a green light and a red light. When it's a green light, you go to your station and you do the thing for a minute. And then when it's a red light, you clean up your station, you move on to the next station. I clean it, I set the weights, and then I'm ready to do the next exercise. So like it'll be a step station where you can step, you can toe taps, you can do whatever, whatever, whatever. And then a workout machine. So like chest press, leg press, shoulder press, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we don't actually have cable. I don't actually watch TV. My favorite thing to do is music. So that's another thing. I don't like to talk to people at the gym. I want to go to the gym with other people, but I don't want them to talk to me. I just want them to be around. I don't like to actually talk when I'm at the gym. I want to be in camaraderie with the other people, but I want to not talk. I want to listen to my music, which is the thing. So like, oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think my mom, like, Mama, you like to go before the lockdowns. My mom used to go to this gym where they had, like, I guess, movies or something, and she could just walk and walk and walk and watch the movie, which sounds like fun, I guess. If I was with somebody else and we were like my mom and I, or like my sisters or friends or something, and we were watching a movie while we were walking on the treadmill or elliptical, that might be fun. Um, I'm not sure. I think my favorite thing is just listening to music, um, and being near the people that I want to be near. But I'm gonna work on it, Freedom Girl, and I would love to hear how it's going, and I will keep you guys all posted on my channel. Me too, Freedom Girl. I hate talking at the gym. Ah, and it's just like, I feel like Jabba the freaking Hutt. Except for I don't have a criminal empire. Or do I? Well, I guess it's Boba's criminal empire now, isn't it? For my Mandalorian friends. Well, Freedom Girl, keep me posted. Mama, you should. I was gonna call you and work on like resolutions and stuff. And I'm not calling them resolutions anymore because it has never worked for me that way. What I'm setting is intentions to manifest the life that I want. And that's a different thing altogether. And I want to head in the right direction most of the time, and I think that we will still get there. Today is Tuesday, December 29. My little boy is 6. It's amazing. I'm getting old. We don't have servants. Oh man, I wish sometimes. Please, somebody come clean this damn house. I kind of wish I had a personal trainer, but you know, the last time I had a personal trainer, let me see. The last time I had a personal trainer was in 2007 when I was stationed in Korea, and it was one of my friends from. I was in the military. It was one of my friends who was a bodybuilder, and he wanted to begin being a personal trainer, and he was doing it for me for free, and he set out a whole routine for me to do, and it was great. I actually got into really good shape. I was feeling really good, and then when I PCS'd, which is changed bases to the back to the States, it kind of all fell by the wayside. Which I guess that's the frustrating part because you do kind of, I know both literally as a person who has been in really good shape and also as a healthcare professional what it takes. It's just really hard to follow your own advice. Kind of like those people who, I mean, we all know the healthcare people that smoke. Thank you. That's my husband's literally watching just for that feedback, Amber. He's more proud than I am. I really like it a lot. It came out beautiful. I feel really, really pretty and professional. Except for I'm 3.5 hours late to my own live, so there's that. But golly, I didn't get out of Costco until 4. And then my son's birthday, we didn't have a party, obviously, because of COVID. But my mother-in-law baked him a cake from scratch, and he helped them. And it was really, really cute. And we got him pizza from Little Caesars. And he had a couple little presents. So by the time all that was done, it was past 6. And then by the time I got home, I came straight on here with you guys. So I don't have an actual structure for this. This is just a chat. This is just a check-in. If any of you guys have been doing the Wolf Moon Challenge, this is just a check-in. Yeah, it was nice. I'm not complaining by any means. It was nice to get off work early and have that time with him. He is, yeah, he is spoiled, and not spoiled rotten by any means, because he's still a very sweet boy, but he's definitely doesn't do without, and that's probably the best blessing in my life, is that I can provide that kind of life for him. And that's also broadly what I think about when I do this intentions, when I'm thinking about where 2021 is going to go. I'm working more on focusing on myself, which, ladies, oh yeah, Mom, I know you love the movies. Hopefully the next time I visit, it will be open and I can try it with you. But friends, make sure that when you're setting intentions, you're also setting intentions for you as a human, not like a lot of times we set this intention where we're just like, I'm going to lose weight. And that's great if you're coming at it in a good way. Like, you want to lose weight to fit in, you want to lose weight to attract a husband. Those might not be as strong of motivators as like, I want to feel well enough to hike Table Rock, or I want to feel good when I play with my kids. So I want you to at least, even if you do something that has a reason, your why is external, I would like you to still consider reframing it in a way where it's about benefiting you specifically. Yeah, Amber, I hope so too. I wish all the best for you. I hope you have a beautiful, healthy baby, and that all the prosperity and the good things flow for your life and for the baby and for the easy part is in the beginning though, so they don't need much. And as long as they have your warm body and your gentle love and they're clean and fed and warm, they're happy. Happy, happy, happy. So easy to make them happy at that age. Even the first several years, I mean, my son loved wrapping paper and bows way more than he liked any of the gifts for several years. And then after that, he liked the cheap little Hot Wheels more than anything else. And even this Christmas, of all the things that he got, I got him like a little stuffed piggy from the craft store. He carries it all over with him. He likes stuffies, so that's really sweet. That's a sweet age. Every age has its high points, but this one's a really sweet age. Is anybody doing anything for the moon tonight? It's full moon. Yeah. Oh my goodness. He's so sweet, guys. I cannot say enough about how wonderful and sweet my son is. Children are a joy. Like, straight up, one of the best things in life is, in my opinion, your kid. I just love him so much. And right now I'm just kind of like, I'm looking at my tarot cards. I'm chatting with you guys. I am going to do some reflecting, so on this last part of the full moon, I'm going to do the last part of my dreaming, the last part of my planning, and then for the whole waning moon. So the newsletter and the Wolf Moon update are going to be late because it's my son's birthday and I have no regrets. But this whole rest of the waning moon is going to be about reflection, looking at barriers, cutting cords, and release. And I'd love to hear your guys' experience with that work, because it's not easy work. And it's not always fun. Praying on the full moon for $2,000. That's very specific. Oh, you mean like the I don't know how that's going to go. I hope so, but we shall see. I thought they already signed the $600 one. So I don't know if the $2,000 thing passes, if they'll just send us more checks, or I have no idea. I don't know. And I don't really have a whole lot of faith in our government. It's not like that. I lit my candles and said, that sounds wonderful, Amber. That sounds wonderful. I think that the energy is still going to be pretty consistent. The energy's. Oh, I see, Amber. The energy is going to be still good for all of those things for the next several days, and also it's going to be great energy for reflecting and still goal setting for the rest of the month. I am or for the rest of the moon, which is through the 11th. Um, I myself have to get on it. So I had a period of really high productivity, and then I got derailed by Christmas and Bubbles passing, and um, and Bubbles passing was really the main thing because I had several days off after Bubble passed, and I didn't do anything because I was just tired, and it wasn't even like it was a very sneaky grief in that it just sucked the life out of me. All of us, it sucked the life out of all of us, and not that we're just like I wouldn't even call it depressed. I would just call it like empty, just empty. I don't know how my husband feels about it, like how he identifies with it, but it's definitely it's definitely a big deal. I mean, you love something for like nearly 10 solid years, and you raise it and you care for it, and you you put it out of its misery. Isn't that the most bizarre, painful, bittersweet shit you ever like? I can't think about it too much. I think that's been one of my things this year is that when things are really really hard, and they haven't been this hard in many years, thank God. I tend to shut it away and try to think about anything else to get me through. Um, so for this most recent grief, I thought I would be able to just hit my other things that I was doing hard and distract myself, but I just couldn't. I didn't have the energy. We ended up watching movies and sleeping in late, which I guess is good in its own way. Thanks, Amber. It's okay. Oh, gratitude. It's a very good time for a gratitude exercise. It is a great time for a gratitude exercise in every way. Every day is good for a gratitude exercise, but this is full moons are really a great time. I know. I know, guys. The pet thing has been hard, but also wonderful. In that I felt like we really were able to do the best possible thing by our charge, and um, you know, it's a really good way to connect spiritually because it reminds you about like when we're doing intentions, when we're doing manifestations, when we're talking about devotion to a deity or to our ancestors or to even, our families or our work or our lives, we tend to focus and hope for and expect the good, and we should, because relationships of all kinds, whether it be with your ancestors or your mom, your kid, your pets, your friends, your lover, they're all bank accounts, right? And all of the love and devotion and happiness and laughter and cuddles and joy and shared experience, those are all deposits in your bank account, right? And if you have a good relationship, your bank account has plenty of cushion for when things get hard. And so there comes a point in all of our lives or in any relationship where we start to take out more than we put in. And for us with our dog, I think of like how he got sick, how he couldn't, do the things that he used to do, how his care became very expensive, how his body functions deteriorated, and how the work of loving him started to get harder. But you had all this credit in the bank to like cushion that work. And what I guess I'm trying to say is like the cost of loving somebody is the work of losing them. There will come a point in any relationship and any love that you will love something so hard and so deep, and you will have to pay the price by losing them and doing so gracefully and doing so right by them. And this is just a tiny teaser because eventually we will have to walk these paths with our parents, walk these paths with our partners, with our life partners. And God forbid some people have to walk this path with their children, which I would just not wish on my worst enemy. And it's a part of love and it's a part of devotion that we don't nearly give enough honor and respect and just gratitude and admiration of. The hard part of love. We as a culture, we don't give that part of love its due. Because when it comes down to it, devotion is not necessarily glamorous or beautiful or fun. Devotion is the actual work of putting your money where your mouth is and loving deeply and selflessly and profoundly. Devotion is the price of love. And we should be so lucky to be able to have those deep relationships where we can pay with our time, with our attention, sometimes with our money, with our actions for the things that we love and the things that are important to us. I'm depressing myself. So sorry. Got so weird. I hope we show our son that love is so much more than fun, than laughter, than comfort, than warmth. That love is also steel and grit and perseverance and tenacity and patience and all of those unglamorous hard work, drudgery. That is also love, and it's valuable and it's important. And that's, for many of us, that's what we were given. Because I sure as shit know that my mom probably didn't want to work nights and long hours and swing shifts and all the bullshit that she had to put up with to feed us and clothe us and care for us. But that work is devotion. That's love in action. That sacrifice is love in action. And when you're a kid, you don't appreciate that because you don't see love as that gritty, hard work, that sacrifice. You see love as fun and gifts and warmth and comfort. But as you get an adult and you get into your serious relationships and you raise a human and you love your pets and you put things through their end of the life cycle, you see that the real love, real, true love, the shit that's worth having, the shit that's worth dying for, is hard work. It's deep sacrifice. It's patience. It's grace. It takes a lot. And it's worth it. I know, Amber. And that's I agree with you. That's terrifying. I know a couple people in my life who have lost their children. And I am just, to me, it seems like a miracle that they keep breathing and walking around and eating and living. Like, despite being profoundly crushed in that way. And some people even take that pain and they just turn it into something phenomenal and they become a pediatric nurse practitioner to help other kids. I've met a person like that. Or they, create societies like Mothers Against Drug Drivers, or they make policies like I forget the name, but this kid named Matt, he overdosed, and his mom worked her ass off for basically the rest of her life to make sure, that people had Narcan and naloxone, so they wouldn't OD. Like those people who take that pain and and alchemize it into goodness for others, they're amazing. But those of them who, I mean, literally, if you lost your child and you just keep living, like you are a hero, you deserve a Nobel Prize in my book. You're amazing. I just could not imagine that kind of pain. And it's amazing. Hi, Marge. I got into some weird, painful shit. I'm going to stop now. I know. And that's one thing, Amber. We waste our parents' money. And I know this is going to sound shitty, but hear me out. When my son asked me for something, and it's just like, first of all, if I don't already just say yes, I try to kind of say, like, I want to give this to you, and I want you to enjoy this, but I also want you to know that this thing costs so many hours of my labor. Like, and we talk about it, because he does ask me, like, he's starting to get curious about, like, do we have money? Do you have money for this, mommy? How much money do you have, mommy? Like, what? And it's just, it's very weird because I don't expect those conversations from my son, and I guess we should start thinking about an allowance, since obviously he's very curious at this point. But I try to frame it around, like, things aren't free. Mommy is giving hours, in some cases more, of her life for this thing. All of this represents hours of my life that I will never get back to buy this thing. And so I think that if we don't tell our children that, we're doing a disservice, because number one, they're going to find out real quick when they're adults about the labor involved in buying things. Being adult is, yes, more freedom, but for everything that you get, there is a price. Never, not just in magic, but in everything there is a price. And the price of freedom is responsibility. And so, yes, you can stay up till 2 a.m. and you can eat cereal for every meal. Awesome. But you still have to pay your car insurance and your mortgage, your health insurance, all of the insurances are awful. You're basically paying some organized crime syndicate to take care of you in the event that something bad happens. It's so awful. And then they don't even do a good job. But it comes into effect when we try to do a chore chart, and I'm so terrible because we start a chore chart and then we don't do it. And he's just like, I don't want to do this thing. I don't even want that stuff. And it's just like, sir, yes, you will do these things because you're a member of this family and everybody has to contribute. And then that's where I really feel like, oh, no, you didn't. You don't get to opt out. I don't get to be like, I don't think I'm going to work today because I have enough money and I'm just done. I guess I could, but I couldn't go back afterwards. My son is a Capricorn. It's Capricorn sun, Leo rising, and an Aries moon. So he's a little firecracker, but he's very smart and cautious and clever. And he's so sassy. Hi, Tammy. So basically, I'm getting off into this weird tangent about God knows what. And I'm sorry for those of you bearing with me. Lord have mercy. Wolf Moon Challenge. We have hopefully dreamed big dreams. There's still plenty of time. Dream those big dreams and where we want to go. And now we're transitioning into where are we? What do we have to work with? And really acknowledging that gap between what we want and where we are and how we're going to get there and what do we need to let go of to get there. Yeah, for sure. Um, and so one thing that we must keep in mind is when we make those big goals and when we set intentions, um, is don't forget the devotion part. Don't forget the work. Don't forget the actual doing, the actual putting your money where your mouth is, the acting as if you've already got the thing. You have to put the work. That's one of the reasons why one of my favorite spells is a plant spell. Is because you have to keep the plant alive. You have to water it. You have to take care of it. You have to nurture it. You are doing a metaphorical um, for for the devotion that goes into creating your intention. So you plant a money plant for prosperity. You still have to water. You still have to prune. You still have to fertilize. You still have to care for this plant, and the care of that plant connects you to the care of your intention, to the actions of your intention, to the devotion and the work around making your intention manifest into reality. So that's what I want us to consider. We're not doing actions right now. You can. I'm not doing actions right now. I'm doing reflections and I'm doing planning and I'm making space for what's to come. But for me, the new moon in Capricorn and that lunation is a really good time to start doing things. Capricorn is about responsibility. Capricorn is about getting shit done. Capricorn is about career, about public life, about making those things happen. And that is when I'm going to start putting that energy really into manifesting that reality. We'll talk about that cycle at the time. Right now, I'm dreaming. I'm taking time to reflect on myself. I'm taking time to plan and to hope. Um, so it's really nice, I think. We don't do it enough, for sure. And I want to hear what you guys have been doing. So I heard Amber. That's all sounds wonderful. Do you guys have you worked anything for the moon cycle, or um are you going to do anything for this full moon? Anybody? Just type it up. What better? Are you coming to me, Dad? Oh, he's closing the door. Unfortunately, only tree died, but I have other plants still alive. Oh, well, maybe plant a new tree. Um, or I want to. So that's something I'm also going to talk about on my channel is the the gardening stuff that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be sharing all of that. And I would love to hear anything that you guys are doing for your intentions. Did any of you guys make a list of hobbies or skills that you wanted to start in the new year? That was one of the tasks that I put on doghollow.com wolf moon thing. And it was probably one of my favorite tasks. Oh, that's wonderful. Money trees are harder to keep alive. I actually bought a money tree and I had been keeping it low, and one of the dogs effed it up. And so now I keep it high up in the kitchen window and it's doing better. So thankfully, because that would have been not great. Are you guys just relaxing or having an easy night? I'm just trying to get caught up in some of the journaling that I have been missing because I don't know. I just couldn't summon up the energy to get any of the things on my to-do list done. And so I'm dreadfully behind. Oh, Amber, that's great. What are some of the hobbies that you're going to, or what are some of the projects you're going to complete? I have a project list too, but I have as yet not planned out when I'm going to do things. I just periodically add to it. Oh, how is it doing, Amber? I love the Taurus new moon. I think we all planted. Mine was an outside plant, and so it's already died for the season. But I will definitely plant another one. I don't know. Yeah, me too. Guys, what's really neat is oh God, that's another thing. I got all of my seed catalogs and my my poultry catalogs, and so I'm sitting there like I should be journaling. I should be working on typing my articles, and instead I'm looking through my territorial seed, and they have some amazing things that I'm going to definitely plant. I want my yard to be a beautiful oasis. And I'm going to buy um, a few um, white sage plants. I have one that I bought last year. They're very, very hard to keep alive. So I'm going to buy several, and I'm going to really try very hard not to kill them. The idea being that I would be able to have enough for my own purposes, that I wouldn't need to buy any um, any sage from anyone. However, I am still hopeful that this year they will allow us to go to powwow. So usually every April-ish, May, they have powwow here in town, and that's a nice place to get sage, sweetgrass braids, and things from the seven surrounding tribes. It's seven surrounding tribes put on a powwow, and they invite the public to come and buy their crafts, and it really supports their community and stuff. So that's a really nice way. Also, I'm the camp nurse for the Native American Children's Camp. And I've done that every year except for this year because of COVID. So I hope that those two things will be back because I love it so much. It's one of my favorite things of the year. I do it for the Native American Kids Camp, and I do it for the Latino Kids Camp. And it's just amazing. So wonderful. I actually did it for all the kids the last 2 years. So not just the Native American kids and the Latino kids, but I also did it for the young artists and the high achieving kids, that academy. Different ages, different like ideas. It's really great. I love it very much. But I am hopeful that I will be able to grow that um, for my own purposes. And I'm gonna Siskiyou Seeds. If you live in Oregon, Siskiyou Seeds, or if you're in Zone 8, Siskiyou Seeds is a really good resource for seeds that are grown or made in this valley. And they have a lot of medicinal plants, um, rare ones. So I really want to try that. Oh, I love crochet. Oh man, I want elderberries too, but the thing with elderberries is it's kind of a big thing here in Oregon. So it's so easy to get fresh elderberries when they're in season just from like on Craigslist or the farmers market or wherever. And I still have so many from the last time. So eventually, yes. Oh, and there's oak trees that have they're inoculated with truffles. So you plant the oak trees, and in 7 years you get truffles. And so I'm definitely going to buy some of those for the hillside that burn because hardwoods are fire resistant. They're firewise because they really don't burn that easily. So oaks and fruit trees are hardwoods, and they're really good for replanting there. Veggie garden. I love tomatoes, peppers, pumpkins. Oh, I haven't started asparagus. So I was told that it's really nice to start your asparagus around your fruit trees, and they have like a symbiotic relationship at that point. And we are planting a whole bunch of fruit trees on the hillside that burn this spring. And so in the next year or two, I hope to plant asparagus near them. We also planted a peach and a plum, so I might plant asparagus by those as well. So the thing is, sometimes I make a plan and I order from Territorial and I order from Siskiyou and I'm so excited. And then sometimes I just don't wait and I see them at the Grange or I see them at Home Depot or I see them at Lowe's or I see them at I don't even know. I see a plant any freaking place and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to buy a couple plants. And then I end up with a whole pallet and my husband's like, why? Oh my gosh, so many plants. I buy all the plants. I buy the seeds, and then I'm like, seeds are hard, and then I buy all the plants. And then half of them die, and I have to buy more. Oh, that's awesome. I love fruit trees. Oh, I've actually been in the guest bedroom for some time, and it's just that because I can film while my husband, hi, Liberius. Thank you. My husband did that. I can film without my husband and son having to stop what they're doing in our bedroom, which is where I had been. Our bedroom has like our sitting family room area in the front of it because it's like a really, really big bedroom. It's a really big master suite. And my husband and son are really into gaming. So they can keep gaming and I can do this and film if I'm in the front room. But also it's nice to have like my little sanctuary. But it's not, the idea for this room is to make it a study for all of us to have our own little space where we can work on our projects together, but like still be pretty autonomous. Oh, Tammy, tell me how that goes. I've always wanted a she shed. Oh, Freedom Girl, Las Vegas. I grew up in the Mojave Desert. Probably you guys don't know, but in Southern California. And I never, ever, ever grew a plant until I got this house. And even then, my first plant experiences were not good. It's only been in the last few years that it's gotten better. And I'll get better every year. I know I will. But for right now, it's rough. Or it had been rough. It's not as rough. I get better every year. And that's something that I'm glad about. You know, because that's one of the skills that I would like to cultivate over the course of my life. You know, Freedom Girl, you probably could do tomatoes and peppers in that kind of weather. I mean, I think that, you know, long hot season plants are like tomatoes, peppers, pumpkins, some branches of corn, squash. All of those should do pretty well in that heat as long as they had, I think, a little bit of shade. I don't know though, but I know I bet you could go brush sage pretty easily in Las Vegas because that's actually the kind of climate that it really likes. So maybe consider buying a couple to have if you'd like to use, or not brush sage, white sage. It likes that, and the Territorial seed and Siskiyou seeds both sell seeds and transplants that you could put in a beautiful terracotta pot and hopefully keep alive, especially in your area because that's the type of area that it likes. Oh my God, Tammy. I want to go to New Orleans. But I don't want to go when it's too hot because I am acclimated to the Pacific Northwest and I just want to melt. I just want to, when I get too hot. I don't like being hot. Unless like I'm in water and then it's like, oh, it balances out. But when we were kids, we used to go to Havasu and the water was just like bath water. It was so hot. And it always had like seaweed and stuff in it. It was all right. It was all right. Life was pretty good. When I was a kid, we used to always try to grow Joshua trees in our science class. So you would get the Joshua tree seeds and you would try. I mostly just want to eat and go to witchcraft shops and look at pretty churches. I know I'm a terrible person. Wow. Yes, Liberius. That's how I started. What are you doing for the shop some food? What are you doing for the full moon, guys? I'll probably take a bath tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna do anything today. I'm kind of tired and I'm trying not to force it. I want this work to be like pleasurable and comforting and like a respite, not a chore. I don't want it to ever feel like a chore. What part of Louisiana do you live in, Tammy? I don't like to drink, so I know some of my friends that are wanting to go don't like to drink. Oh, that sounds wonderful, Liberius. I did see that on your Instagram now that I think about it. You're going to have lunch with your friends. That sounds really fun. I wish we could go to a restaurant. We can't. Not at the moment. Honestly, I'd take the gym over a restaurant first, just because one of my things is to try and cook my own food. So it would be more helpful. Oh, that's really sweet. I did see that on Instagram. That's wonderful. They're just going to love it, I'm sure. Do they practice too, or is it just oils? Oh, no. They're temple rubs, right? For if they get a headache or whatnot. Ooh. What's the VB, Marge? Oh, vision board. Yeah. I have that on my list of things to do. The vision board on my Pinterest that I'm going to set to private. I love doing that. And my manifestation box is going to be that beautiful box that I got from Bumblebee Fern, Bumblebee Botanica. That's going to be my manifestation box for the year. And I'm going to put all these little representations and intentions and stuff in there to help manifest them. I got it. One of the things that my husband's still going to do is put me a shelf up high. You won't be able to see it, But I'd like for the box to be up there so that I can use it. But his he's such a whiner. So he whines, but he loves me. Because the thing about shelves is that I want them high enough that you could still walk around and function in this area. But that also means that he will have to grab anything I want off the shelf for me. So there's that. So it'll probably go up kind of close to the ceiling, but still enough space so that I can have the manifestation box upright up there. That will be over here. And then I have some of the like display boxes from the craft store that I'll probably put vertically right here to kind of store some of the items. And then this is, I don't know, my husband set this up for me if you guys watched the testing video. So that's just a little shelf. I can't find my Labradorite bear that I was gifted, and so I really need to find that. I'm kind of bummed about that. And then this is a gift from Don Nightbloom. That was a gift from another wonderful friend. This was a cinnamon broom, and then all of these come from the craft store. They were on clearance after Black Friday. That came in my garden journal. This was a painting gifted to me by my friend Sarah Pritchett Werner. She painted this for me before she went back to Albuquerque. It's beautiful. It says, "A good deed brightens a dark world." And then bookshelves. So there's going to be shelves here, and it'll help hang some of the lights a little bit better, and it'll help me get storage. And this section over here is still a little bit rough. But I'm hopeful to have like a coffee table or like an entertainment center, but not. Maybe I'll find one on Craigslist right here. So still small enough that you can open the door all the way, but with a back so that I can still put plants on the windowsill and it won't accidentally get water on the books in the bookshelf. And so plants, probably succulents though, so that way they don't need very much water, so it's a lower risk anyway. Right here. Or something like my hanging baskets, because the hanging baskets I don't water up there anyway. I take them to the sink and I soak them. Yes, I love that too. So then I will be able to put all these things in the dresser, the entertainment center thing. Because right now my other little entertainment center thing is over there. It's oddly shaped and it goes in a corner, so it won't fit over here very nicely. And so I was telling my husband we can move that into our bedroom and move all this stuff around. That's probably not interesting. Just like, if you like this, yay, my husband worked really hard. That's really sweet, Liberius. That sounds so good. Yeah, so the manifestation box, I've always, I've heard of it. It's been many years that I've been thinking about it. It's just that I never fully commit to it. But it's going to be nice because I also have a hard time keeping my little intentions in the same spot and not getting lost. So basically, I'm going to have the box. I'm going to, as you know, I write my intentions in the new moon. And then when it comes to the full moon in that same sign, I check and see how it went. So I'm going to keep those intentions there in one spot, but also art, pictures, maybe affirmations, just knickety-knacks or bits and pieces in this box to like kind of harness my energy, my intention, my manifestation energy into this thing, kind of like a physical, tangible vision board. So the vision board itself is going to be electronic on Pinterest because I just love the way that works for that. I love keeping ideas on Pinterest. That's my favorite use of Pinterest. I like it a lot that way. And then the manifestation box is going to be more of like things that I create with the intention in mind. So like my handwritten intentions, and things like that. Maybe art, maybe handwritten affirmations, maybe like leftover spell scrolls. other things like that. I don't know yet, but it'll evolve, and maybe I'll share it with you guys. That's what I will update you guys when the newsletter comes out, and it'll say this will be here. I also hope to go live on New Year's Eve with a friend, and so that should be really fun. We should have a lot of connection with that. Liberius, you would do amazing with vision boards because you're so artistic. So I think that would be just absolutely well suited to your practice. Your Instagram stuff is really pretty. It can be physical. It can be collage or cutouts or watercolor or drawings or writings or digital. Any context that you want would be however your vision comes up would be super super great for how you always present so beautifully. I think it would look really nice. The manifestation box, I think, has a lot of leeway for art. You could paint it, you could solder it, you could put words in it, you could line it, you could have a shoebox that you repurposed or an Altoid tin or whatever. I think it would be so neat. I did not come up with this concept. It's just something that I have seen for quite some time, and I thought about it for quite some time. And now I'm really just wanting to do that. But I'd love to hear your guys' idea too. Because obviously this is the kind of work, vision boards and manifestation boxes, they can manifest so differently in each different person's practice that it's really just amazing how much variation on the same theme that we can get, and still just have wonderful intent, and the basis of many workings are very, very similar, but the way that we manifest them is completely different. So I really like that concept. I'm excited. I'll share what I can. And if you guys do it, share what you can. I love looking at your wolf moon. Everything that you've been sharing for the wolf moon has been really, really fun and super helpful and just inspiring in a lot of ways. And so I'm really grateful for that. Honestly, usually I come on with some kind of intention, and the last two have been really just like you're sitting here with me hanging out, which I totally appreciate. But I also like to give you guys content. It's just, I have been in a weird spot, but I will say, so the thing we did yesterday with the testing, it was super helpful, all of your advice, and thank you so much. Number two, today I had meant to share all this with you about the Wolf Moon week 3, which is going to be about full moon magic, full moon and Cancer magic, and waning moon magic. That was all going to be the topic. Obviously, I'm not going to get that done today, but I will work very hard to get that up tomorrow, which should still be plenty of energy for this moon. You should still be able to use the full moon energy, particularly if you're using it for waning moon energy. There'll be a newsletter out to let you guys know when it's up at the same time. I know. It looks better at night for sure. It does look better at night. Just because I think that the color scheme, just gold, would look better. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Pardon me. So that's going to be coming up. I still have to do reviews for 3 more planners. I bought one more. Ink Goddess Creation shared a planner, and I did purchase it. So I have to do the review for the Ritual 2021 Ultimate Tarot Journal. I have to do the review for the Moonary journal that's coming in the mail. The first one got lost. And I have to do the review for the Ink Goddess Creation planners that's coming at some point. I every Wednesday I'm sharing I'm on ancestral medicine books, ancestral veneration books, and so tomorrow there will be a new review up, and I have 5 of those books, I think. 5 of those books that I'll be sharing with you guys. So every Wednesday will be a different book that's coming up. I have a lot of stuff in the works, and I'll let you guys know as it solidifies a little bit more. But as of right now, I don't think I have anything else to offer. So unless anybody has any pertinent questions or anything to add, I think that we will wrap it up. Oh, Joshua, are you okay? You can talk about it. That's totally fine. I definitely can hear that. It is tough right now, for sure. Is it this collective toughness that we're all dealing with, or particularly tough for you as a person? Oof. Relationship toughness can be some of the most painful toughness. Is it a transition or an ending, or just a rough patch? Maybe. Is there anything that can be done? Yeah, maybe, for sure. The nice thing about the black is that they're blackout curtains, but I really don't need them right now. I guess I could put them up when I do need them. That is hard. That is hard. Thank you, Amber, for coming. It's been a rambler, but thank you so much for for everything. So I can hear that. I think it's hard to find yourself when you're stuck, and I think that the pandemic was really good about. And the pandemic has had a lot of hangman energy, I feel like, for many of us. Yeah. And is your partner not supportive of those endeavors, of that that work? Or are you guys just in different parts of your life? Because that can be hard as well, being in different stages of your life than your partner. Oh, yeah. And I hear that, Joshua. I feel like that many of us will ebb and flow with our practice. And if you're feeling called back, then definitely do it. And hopefully your partner will be super supportive. Oh. Hmm. So does he let you do your thing, or do you feel like you can't do it around him, or do you want him to participate with you? For sure. Oh, yeah. I hear that. Some people can't practice around others. And really, it's kind of like such a personal, intimate thing that you're doing anyway. So it's kind of like if the person's not participating, it would be a little odd, I think. Um, have you taken any action as to um, maybe a reading to see like some clarity on the situation, or maybe petitioning to your guides for advice, or um, maybe some reflection, maybe some timed writing, maybe some heart-to-heart chat with that person? Anything come to mind to help like navigate this situation that is it that you're working through? Because sometimes I feel like when we have like kind of an icky situation, the hard part is really trying to figure out what to do, and then we get stuck in this kind of like bad feeling limbo where we're kind of stuck because we don't know what to do. We know something needs to happen, we don't know what to do, and then we just perseverate on the fact that we know something needs to happen, but we don't know what to do. And we kind of forget that we can empower ourselves to kind of look for answers as to what we should do. If you tried stuff and it's failed, that's a different kind of problem. Because then we would have to, not we, in the end, you're going to have to do what's right for you, dear. But if you try something and it failed, then you may need to review and kind of gauge, like, should I try something else, or is this like a catastrophic failure? That's true, Liberius. Oh, Joshua, dear. I'm trying to seek spiritual help, but I feel rejected. I'm sorry. It is hard. Our group, not here at Hound Dog Hollow, and not my friends, but like our community, the spiritual community, can be a little bit vicious. Um, hmm. Hmm. And that's certainly something to think about, Joshua. If you got a reading that felt good and true and it said something about him, do you feel like it was good and true except for that part about him? Or do you feel like it was a good and true all through and you're just not there for what she said about that part about him? Or, I mean, that's the hard part. Tarot doesn't typically lie to us. It tells us what's up, and many times we're not ready to hear what's up. I know I used to F around with tarot like that and get bitch slapped all the time. I'm sorry, dear. I hope you don't get judged. I hope you find a space that's safe for you and that you can be yourself and you can learn and grow and be comfortable. And I do believe that there is something like that for everybody. Like I said, it can be really challenging in our community to connect with people who are not going to judge you and rip you to shreds, but they are out there. They do exist. Um, oh, I see. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, it is a waning moon. So you have approximately the next 2 weeks to work through this, right? Like Liberius suggested. You have the next few weeks to reflect, to do divination, to examine, like, what is it that you're wanting and needing? Where are you now? Is there a gap between what you want and need and where you are? And what needs to be done to bridge that gap? And what needs to be released? What actions need to be taken? Do you need to course correct? Do you need to do X, Y, and Z? How can we get to a place where you feel more like you're intentionally living and manifesting what you want? Yeah, that's true, Marge. It does, Joshua. It sounds like, and of course, you're gonna have to know what's right for yourself. But I would say that I feel like this is a really heavy vibe time of release. And so maybe you're being called to do some reflection, to do some introspection, to do some shadow work, to really check out what it is you're actually dealing with, and engage if that what it is that you actually are doing and living and experiencing and getting from others is acceptable. And if it is, great. And if it isn't, how can we start moving towards a direction that's better for you? Exactly. And it's not about, I don't think that coven is about age. Just because you find a coven doesn't mean that you're going to stay with them forever. You can find a coven, grow as far as you can with that group of people, and then be on your own, go to a different coven, do a different thing. You're not stuck with that coven. Um, I know shadow work it can be scary. Exactly, Freedom Girl. You can connect with other people on the internet. You don't have to form a coven if you're having a hard time finding a safe space. Um, yes, Marge, I think that it's really that is true. However, I think that many young witches and young people in this community are eaten the fuck up by other people, judged, criticized, treated very harshly. And I think that yes, you shouldn't care what other people think, and most of us for the most part don't. But sometimes you have some very crafty, clever, sneaky motherfuckers who say or do just the right thing to dig a needle up under your armor. Pay them no mind and don't give them anything. So I think that owning your shit and owning your space and who you are is something that you have to work for. And when I was 20, I certainly was not confident, comfortable, um, at ease with myself. That's hard won wisdom. So definitely do not feel bad. You're doing all the right things. And I think you're reaching out to people, you're talking about it, you are doing the best that you can, but maybe it's more of an inside thing that we got to look at. Exactly, Liberius. Kiana, they can be wise. They certainly can be. Um, but you can be wise and tactful. You don't always have to be a jerk. Um, And then we can always approach learning and teaching with curiosity and not condescension. And that's something that I think is the difference between a very good teacher and a not good teacher. So, as a nurse, if I was like, cigarettes are going to kill you, so why do you keep doing that? That's so dumb. That's not gonna change anybody's mind. That's not gonna help the person that I'm talking to. They know that. They don't need my condescension. The better thing is to kind of help that person do some motivational interviewing and engage with themselves to think like, okay, have you thought about quitting? If you have, what does that look like to you? What does not smoking look like to you? Is that something that you want? How would your life be different? Is that a good thing? And let the person come to themselves and be like, I would save so much money, or I wouldn't be embarrassed about how my clothes smell, or whatever their reasons are. And a good teacher knows that you have to help the person come into that knowledge and that action and time frame themselves, because even if they do it just to please you, most people will fall off the wagon and revert to their old habits until they have a strong enough why, a strong enough motivator to make long lasting change. And condescension is almost never a part of that long lasting change. Oh, you're so sweet, Joshua. You're an angel. Don't worry. Everything's going to be okay. And I don't say that condescending or toxic positivity. I say that like I say it to myself, because your words are magic. And if you tell yourself everything's going to be okay, I can do this. This is going to pass. It'll get better. Those are words and practices that help build up your hope, that help make your reality manifest into something positive. You can do any affirmation that sounds good to you, that means something to you, that helps get you through. But for me, the nitty gritty, when things are really bad, I constantly repeat, it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And it helps me. Exactly, Marge. Be kind to yourself. Talk to yourself the way that you would a friend. Um, and you might want to just say, like, do some shadow work, introspection, reflection, and say, I really want these things. I want a group of friends that I can really trust with my metaphysical growth. I want to be able to talk to my partner about these things. I want to set strong boundaries with my mom. And make intentions for yourself around those things to help start making them reality. Exactly. Exactly, Liberius. Bye, Liberius. Thank you, honey. Oh, exactly. Shadow work used to scare me too, because I think that what shadow work really comes down to is owning your shit. And that's really hard, because sometimes when life is really hard and painful, and I've definitely been there. As a matter of fact, I lived there when I was your age. It's really hard to own your shit and realize that a lot of your pain and your problems and your suffering has to do with yourself. And I'm not talking about, that is not anything to say that like you are allowing people to abuse you, you are worthy of abuse or neglect or any violence. That is not what I'm talking about. But sometimes we can blame ourselves for things that are out of our control, and that leads to shame and guilt and leads to poorer choices. Sometimes we can be uncomfortable or insecure, and put ourselves in bad situations where we will be taken advantage of. I know I did that a lot. I was very insecure. I had daddy issues, for lack of a better word. I don't know why daddy issues is always like a criticism to women when it's men that are not doing their fucking job and raising young girls. But I digress. And so you look for men to fill that gap, and they're not great men. And so you make lots of mistakes. But at some point, you have to own your shit and be like, maybe I picked bad men. Maybe I should have higher standards. Maybe I'm worth more than that. Maybe I don't need to tolerate this bullshit relationship with this mean frenemy or with this selfish jerk or with this shitty job. Yeah. And shadow work is super painful in that way, that you have to acknowledge that maybe you have some part in things not being great. But it's also very cathartic because when you neglect your shadow work, you let a wound fester. And sometimes cutting that abscess open and letting all that pus out just relieves so much pressure. It cleans everything out so that you can heal fresh and so that you can get better. And so that's what I really like about shadow work, is that it allows for catharsis. It allows for cleansing those wounds. It allows for healing, proper healing of wounds by cleaning them out, by exposing them to air and to scrutiny. Um, and by acknowledging that we are not perfect and we have bad or unpleasant or unfavorable parts, and that's all part of us, and we're whole people, and that's okay. And I think that, at least for me, that helps me be more confident. That helps me be more impervious to criticism from other people. And it helps me really live more authentically. Well, yeah. So if you're feeling called to engage in that relationship with your deity, there should be no reason why anybody would be interfering with that. Um, and yeah, I think honesty with oneself is pretty hard in general, just at least for me, because we sometimes get into really bad negative self talk. And I don't think that those things are true. Hmm. Yeah. So I guess, Joshua, that comes down to something with that. If you had a deeply loved, like, best friend, and your partner came between you and your best friend, would that be acceptable behavior? Would that be something that you would accept? And if it's not, then maybe kind of do an inventory and a self check as to, like, um, number one, why would I let my partner affect my relationship with my spirituality, with my divine, with my deity? And number two, knowing how much that meant to me, why would my partner talk shit to me like that? Like, what purpose would that serve for my partner to engage with my personal strongly held beliefs in that way? So maybe examine that a little bit. I think that like we talked about earlier today, that love and devotion are not just about fun times or good times or happy times, but the actual work of loving somebody can be challenging. And even if your partner thought it was stupid garbage, if it made you really happy and it fulfilled a part of you that um, that was helpful and good for you, then they should stay out of it unless you were doing something dangerous or immoral or not good for your health or your finances, you're getting taken advantage of, then that might be some mean to interject. So I would definitely investigate, like, why are you being down on this? I really need to understand, like, what it is that you're what you're hoping to achieve, what you want out of me and my relationship, and how this um, is something that you felt called to do by interfering with my relationship here. I'm curious. I would definitely be curious about, like, what that dynamic is all about. Ooh. Well, it sounds like you have a lot to think about. Um, Sounds like you have a lot to think about there, dear. You might need to do some honest reflection about what's going on here and what you're willing to give up for this relationship, and whether or not it's fair to be asked to give things up for this relationship. Um, and what is that other person giving up for this relationship? So that's something definitely that you're going to have to investigate and maybe have a conversation, not an accusatory conversation because it probably won't go anywhere, but I'm just curious. Like, I'm curious why, like, you care. Um, I'm curious why why you think that this is childish. I'm curious why um, it bothers you that I do this, and just try and see, like, what's up. Because the real hard truth, Joshua, is that if you come out and ask people, they will tell you who they are, and they'll let you know. And that's when you have to kind of gauge, like, who am I? Is this what I want? Is this acceptable? Is this where I'm going? Is this what I want? And so, good night, Tammy. That might be something to kind of think about. Alternatively, if you do decide that, like, this is a thing that you want to pursue and you don't care that this person, has these feelings, then maybe you can have, like, a smaller pocket altar, Hecate, or something that you can carry with you or take with you in a backpack or something that you can keep privately. A lot of people have those when they're in the broom closet, like a shoebox or an Altoid tin, or just a journal full of images of her that you can look at and connect with and talk to. That might be. Oh, that sounds like a shitty situation, Joshua. If you're in a bad spot, I can't. That's true, Marge. That's true, Marge. I mean, Joshua, you don't have to share it with him. You could be private. You can keep it to yourself. You can have your books. You can have your private altars, and just keep it to yourself and work on it that way. Um, I think that you're going to have to do some investigating, dear. I think that you're going to have to do some reflection, and I think you're going to have to do an honest inventory of what's going on, and take it from there. But I would venture to say that yes, you can absolutely, and I know lots of women and people who um, hide that part of themselves because they love their husband or they love their partner and they're afraid of what their family will think, and they do these things only privately, and only connect online, and it nourishes them just enough to make everything okay and worthwhile. And that's totally valid way to live if that's that's your choice. I would say that you could do lots of things to be discreet and very private and just not share that with that person, so that you still get the nourishment that you get from your relationship with your deity, without jeopardizing the nourishment that you get from your relationship with your partner. Definitely talk about it. Definitely reach out, and definitely do a little digging and shadow work, and maybe set some goals around where it is that you want to go in life and how you can bridge the gap between where you are and what it is that you want. And I'm not just saying that to you. I've literally said it over and over and over and over and over to everybody and to myself. I would say one final thing, that love, real love, and that I've talked about this at the beginning of the video. Love is about not just love, not just good feelings, not just happy feelings, but it's also devotion and work and grace and patience and sacrifice. And it's not a one-way street. It's a balance between the parties involved. So that's also something to meditate on and consider. But I hope you feel better, dear. I hope that that situation gets better for you. Yeah. But it's getting late and I have to go. I hope you guys all have a wonderful night. I hope you can join me. Hopefully, I'll be having a New Year's Eve live. I hope to get content up soon. It's been kind of weird. I will get to that. I hope you all have a wonderful night and lots of work done for yourself, for your spirit. And oh, you're so sweet. I love you guys, and I hope you have a good night and take care of yourselves and be good to yourselves, because it's wild out there, friends. And I hope I see you in a couple days. Love you so much. Have a good night. Bye. Love you guys.